everyone. So I've received some questions and feedback with regards to Google Classroom and how to create a Google Classroom page as a teacher. So that is why I'm demonstrating today. Google Classroom is a free web service through Google. So if you have a Google account or G Suite through school, which most educators do, you have access to this. So really easy to use. Let me show you. Also, if you're on a phone or your students only have a phone, which some of my students only do, unfortunately, it's important that they install, and it's free to install, the Google Classroom app. This is more compatible with phones. So not necessary if you're in a web browser on your computer, but definitely if you're using a tablet or a phone, you want to get this Google Classroom app. So very easy. So first I'm going to show you that here are my classes that I have as a teacher, but I am going to show you how to create from a blank slate. So if I go to my personal account, you'll see that there's nothing here because I've never used it before on this account. So if you're just in Google, and this is the main page you're looking at, it'll look like this, and you'll want to make sure you're signed in using your school account. If you're not, then your students are going to have a hard time accessing it, and it just won't work for the long run. So you just want to make sure over here, sign into another account, and sign in using your school account. Then you want to click on this little waffle iron right here to access anything Google related. It's going to pop up here. So your Google Drive, if you scroll down, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and then Classroom. So you can either click this button here, and it will directly take you to your Google Classroom, or you can just go and type in Google Classroom, or you can type in classroom.google.com. So any of those ways will get you to this page. And the first thing you want to do, again, no classes here because I've not started a class yet. But if I click this plus button up here up top, this is the same button your students click when they want to join your class. So it looks exactly the same. They click the plus button and they would click join class. We are going to click create class since we are the teacher. So this is just asking me, am I using this for students? Make sure you're signed in using your school account, which I'm not going to do right now. Then it's going to ask you to create a class name. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, keeping in mind that this is going to be visible for your students. So thinking of what would make more sense for them, I'm making the class name my subject area instead of putting the subject here, just because my students are middle school, so seeing English, math, social studies is just more helpful for them. If you're doing, maybe a course at the high school level, maybe you're going to say AP Literature and then put English here. So it's whatever your choice is. I'm just going to do this for now. And then you're going to click create. And it will create this really, really quickly, and you will see that it will redirect you to a page which is going to show your class. So here I am, and it's telling me I can create assignments or announcements. Sorry, right here. It's saying you can reuse announcements if you need to. And you can see, again, here's the title. It says it's for my period 1 class, and this is very important. Right here is the class code. So as I was saying, when you're on that main page that looks like this, now you can see my classes right here. If the student clicks this plus button, they need to click join class, and they would type in this code. Now it looks really tiny, so if you're projecting this on your screen, you want to click this little button and it will make it larger for you. So I usually do this for my students, and we do it all together. So again, they would click here, join class, type in the code. After they've done this, when you go to people, you will see all your students start to populate here. I usually use this code way, but if you don't want to and you know all your students' emails, you also could just manually insert or invite your students here. If you have a co-teacher that you want to add them here as well. So I have a couple co-teachers on my usual account. So going back to the screen, the stream, the first thing you probably want to do is some type of announcement. So welcome to our class. Once you get students, you'll be able to give announcements to certain students if you want to make different announcements or differentiate your assignments. That's always an option. Right now, I want all my students. You can also schedule this. So maybe I'm creating this today, but I want to schedule this for tomorrow at 8 a.m. I can change that right here, which is very helpful. Or I can just click post. You can also add a Google Drive file, maybe a picture or a video or a website link if you want to. So there's my announcement. As I get more on this page, you'll see on this is my one I already have created. I have many announcements here. And I have some YouTube videos, I have some documents. So that's what that looks like, and you'll see there are comments from students if they have any questions as well. Okay, you can also, once you have more than one, so here's another announcement. Let me do that really quickly. Another announcement, if this one falls to the bottom and it's really important and I want to move it to the top, I can. So it will just redirect that and switch it to the top, which is sometimes helpful. So the area I want to look at next is classwork. This is where you would go to create any assignments, quizzes, material. So again, if I go over to this class I already have created, I have all these topics over here. And it's very helpful to organize. So I have parent information here, I have assignments. If I wanted this to go at the top, I could just drag it all the way to the top because assignments are important. Maybe I want that higher up. Educational websites, right? So all this is organized for me. If I click create, I can actually create other topics here. Okay. So again, I have nothing over here right now because this is the first time. If I just want to create material, this is not an assignment. Students don't need to hand this in. It would look something like these. If I click on it, it doesn't say anyone needs to hand anything in. There's no due date. Those are just examples of material. You could pose a question for your students, which is helpful sometimes if you just want a response from them. This could be a short answer. It could be multiple choice. You can change the points or make it ungraded here. Maybe I want to make this an assignment, even though it's just a question. Do I want students to reply to each other? Well, maybe I do. Maybe I want them to respond to one of their classmates. Maybe I don't want them to edit their answers because I don't want them to read another student's answer and then alter their own. So again, there's some options here for you as a teacher. Adding documents, creating documents can happen right here. If you're creating an assignment, same thing. Okay, it gives you points, due dates. You can even add a rubric here, which is really good. The only thing I will suggest here, which is really important for assignments, if I have a document and you can add from your drive, you can upload a document, I would try to, if it's a document that students are going to edit, make sure it's a Google Doc. It's just easier because, you know, it's linked to Google, so it's going to be easier for them. It's going to be compatible. If you're doing this as an assignment, you probably don't want them to view it unless it's maybe reading material or an article. You probably want to make a copy for each student. Now, the difference between editing the file and making a copy is if you click students can edit, that means every single student in your class is going to be editing the same document. So maybe you want that. Maybe students are picking a topic for a project and you have a chart and you want them all to pick from the chart and add their name to the same document. That might be helpful. But most likely, if they're each completing an activity by themselves, you want to make a copy for each student. So that's really important to note there. Again, if you're just showing the material, it would be view. Lastly, I'll show you that there's the quiz assignment, that if you click here, it will automatically make a blank Google form for you, that you can actually do a quiz. There's even a lockdown browser option for Google Chrome that is wonderful. I will show you how to use this at another time, but it will automatically grade multiple choice questions. It's very helpful for vocabulary quizzes, spelling quizzes, really any type of quiz. that doesn't have a lot of short answer, even though that is an option. So again, this is Google Classroom. I love it. I use it all the time. If your students go here, they can see English, science, math, all their different classes here. Again, it's very compatible with anything Google. So a lot of benefits for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please add a comment with any other requests of videos you would like. Please share, please subscribe, and as always, be safe and happy.